Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Science Shorts with Mr. Perkins. I'm Mr. Perkins. I did promise we would have class outside today. It's raining a little bit, but just think of that as soothing background noise for today's lesson. I am a former biology teacher. I'm running for state senate, and during this time of COVID-19, I am trying to do my best to provide a little something for parents, teachers, and students to have that breaks up the day a little bit, and also hopefully you learn something. Pardon me. Today, maybe? I've been gloriously free of technical difficulties for all of these. Okay. Ooh. Somewhere here. Bear with me. There we go. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to have, it's going to be lighter, it's going to be a little bit more fun, and I wanted to start with this, our birthday that was on the website that I check for science history, which seemed like the most ridiculous invention that I could possibly imagine, particularly being credited to a specific day. But apparently, on May 13th, 1637 was the invention of the table knife. It was in France. Up until then, there were pointed knives or daggers that were used to cut the meat and then to pick one's teeth afterwards. And this cardinal in France had the points rounded off the knives. That way they would be more civilized at the table. So happy birthday to the table knife. So we're going to be, like I said, a little lighter today. The idea is to go through some folklore. Some frequent things that people say, like, can you go blind from sitting too close to the TV? We're going to do a couple of these today. We're going to start here. The answer is not anymore, which is sometimes surprising to people. Old cathode ray tube sets in the 60s, some of them did emit enough radiation through the cathode ray screen that, yes, it was actually dangerous to your eyes. But at the end of the 60s, we figured that out, and then regulations were put in place, and that no longer happens. It should be noted, we often get scared by the word radiation. There are lots of different types of radiation, and radiation, like many things, is very dose-dependent. You'll see the joke a lot of the time about, oh, well, an X-ray technician will tell you that it's safe, but then will go hide behind a curtain. Well, and that's because the amount of radiation from one X-ray, or even a couple a year, isn't dangerous at all. But if you're taking many, many X-rays over the course of every single day for your job, then it does become dangerous. So all electronics produce some variety of radiation. But nowadays, LED screens, plasma screens, and even the more modern cathode ray tubes in the 70s and 80s just didn't produce this at all. So there's no harm anymore, but you actually could do damage to your eyes from sitting too close to the TVs back in the 60s. How long does gum stay in your digestive system? Certainly the popular answer is 7 years, and I'm not able to track down where that specific myth came from, but it's not true at all. It is true that your body can't digest the resin in gum. That is true. But your body passes things normally that you can't digest. Your body does this all the time. It's not special for gum in any way. Gum doesn't stay in your system longer than any other things that you can't digest. There is a small danger if you were to swallow a lot of gum simultaneously. That could become a blockage, but if you accidentally swallow one piece of gum, no, you're going to pass it in a couple days. It's not going to stay in your system for 7 years. You will be completely fine. Speaking as a parent, I have a 4-year-old, I have a 1-year-old. Parents have certainly seen their kids eat things they weren't supposed to eat before. They come out fine in a couple days most of the time. Your body is able to pass things that it can't digest. Gum is no exception to that rule. Although I am curious where the 7-year myth came from. That was something I wasn't able to track down, because that's certainly the agreed upon myth. That's the agreed upon folklore, that gum stays in your system for 7 years. It's a very specific number. I cannot find a source for it, but no matter what, it is not true. Gum is passed normally like other food. Do you have to wait to swim after eating? Oftentimes we hear some range between 30 minutes and an hour in order to not drown after eating. And there are usually two myths here. One is the idea that after you eat, your body will redirect blood from your extremities to your digestive system to aid in nutrient absorption and digestion, and that lack of blood in your extremities makes you weak and therefore prone to drowning. Your body has enough blood. Now, it is actually true. Part of that is true. Your body does redirect blood to your stomach and to your intestines after eating in order to help with digestion, but your body still has plenty of blood. Your body is not going to randomly not be able to control your limbs just because you ate before jumping in the pool. And then the other thing is that it will cause cramps. Cramping is almost always caused by dehydration rather than having just eaten. So neither of those things really hold up in any way, shape, or form. Don't get me wrong, intense physical activity after eating can certainly lead to vomiting or discomfort, but those aren't usually things that cause you to drown. So by all means, go swimming. I did see one website that talked about how if you wanted to encourage swimming after eating, to eat simple carbs, things like bread, because that your body digests quickly and turns into energy, as opposed to something like protein, a steak or a hamburger that your body's going to take longer to digest, that's not going to be turned into energy for swimming as quickly. But either way, you don't actually have to wait any amount of time after eating in order to jump in to the lake. So,